Bit of a hip hip hopper, you don't stop. But rock it out, baby, rubber to the boogity bang bang, the boogie to the boogity beat. I say I can't wait to the end of the week when I rap it to the rhythm of a groovy beat and attempt to raise your body heat or just blow your mind so with that you can't speak or do a thing but a rock and shuffle your feet and later change up to a dance called the freak. And when you finally do come into your rhythmic beat, rest a little while so you don't get weak. I know a man named Hank, he has more rhymes than a serious.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. Harry did give me the 20-second countdown. I just blew past it. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to LoveBabz, LoveTalk on Babz, Rawls-Ivy. It's Wednesday, September 20th. It's about 62 degrees. Fall is here. Tomorrow fall arrives. Put your pumpkins out, get your mums. I'm gonna go to the store tomorrow and put some mums out. I'm gonna take bring the plants that are outside, I'm gonna bring them in because they're gonna freeze out there. And I'm just gonna put them in the house and then put some mums out because mums will last from now until January. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'll buy some mums. I hope everybody's good. I'm good. I have on my new underwear, Harry. I bought new underwear. And it feels really good. You know, I'm down a couple of more pounds. So I bought new underwear because I like these long line shorts because, they make your thighs feel nice. And then I bought a new bra, which I needed a new bra. So I got a new bra. It feels good. I don't love it. I need, I buy these bras and there's there's things about it that I like, but it's not giving me exactly what I need. So we'll see, but I'm wearing it, so I like it. I like it. I feel very I feel good. I feel very smoothed out. I got on a bodycon dress, which I kind of like when I got on the right undergarments, when I have on the foundational things. So this feels good. This feels good. I know I'm rubbing myself like, oh, but yeah, I mean, it smooths you out and holds you. It's like a little hug. I don't like the wiggle jiggle stuff. I don't like that. I don't like my butt to go ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Nope. Or my tummy, for that matter, to be like swaying low, sweet chariot. Nope, nope, nope. I like it to have a little bit of hold in, like a little hug. No pressure, not tight. I could pull these down and pull them up. They've got this little silicone thing at the waist, so it's it stays in place. And I like it high up, right up to the bra. So this is nice. The bra feels good. I tried to get on another pair of I tried on some Skims. I tried to get into the Skims. I got 2 pairs of Skims. I don't know. They say a size, and that is not the size. I don't know if I washed them and they shrank. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna see if I could get into them, but when I have more time to get into them. When you're trying to get on air, you don't have time to be messing around, writhing on the bed, trying to, slide into this thing. So I didn't do that. I'll pick that for another day when I can sweat a little bit, like work it out. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see, because I refuse to believe that those are the sizes that I think they're supposed to stretch, and I'm just not. I just don't have time to stretch. But my shaper mints feels good. I should have bought 3 or 4 pair of these because I like the way these feel. But I tell you, my favorite ones are I bought off HSN. There's this woman there that I like, and she sells some underwear that I just enjoy. I gotta go and look at the name. But I'm obsessed with these little shorts. I'm obsessed with them because I need them to go all the way down the thigh. I like that, because I've been having a little chafing for the first time. I've never had chafing before, but I think because I'm losing a little weight, that is just, the body is just doing its own thing. So the chafing is a pain in the ass. I don't like it. So when I put these shorts on, these underwear shorts, it alleviates that, so yeah. So I feel pretty good. I got on my earrings that I bought from Black Wall Street. I had another pair of earrings. I bought these from Black Wall Street, but I don't like them. I don't like hoops because hoops don't fall. They never fall right for me. And even though these are not a gigantic hoop, and it's not the fringe, it's the hoop. The hoop is irritating to me. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. I might just do something with them and pin them on something or make it a necklace, or I don't know. I'll figure it out. Because I could always buy a piece of yarn, some orange yarn or whatever, some lime green yarn, and just bind up the earpiece and just wrap it and then let it dangle like a necklace. I might do that. I could easily do, like, it could be like this, or I could just do something like this, and then it becomes a necklace. I'm crafty like that, people. I'm crafty like that. I'm crafty. I wanted to, because it is Hispanic Heritage Month, I wanted to put some stats up or give some people some background. Sorry. I got a little tickle in my throat. And I am so sorry, y'all. I don't know what that is. Well, I'm gonna give you some information from the Pew Research Center that I think people would find interesting. Did you know? And this is from the Pew Research Center, who I admire. I have a friend who worked there. I think I have a friend who still works there. So, and this was August 16, 2023. So this is very timely. Did I say welcome to LoveBabz, LoveTalk? Welcome to LoveBabz, LoveTalk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. Let's see, what did I do? I don't tend to say what I did last. I didn't do too much last night, I don't think. I had a Long Wharf Theater Board meeting and a Planned Parenthood Board meeting. So I went to the Long Wharf Theater Board meeting, which we are now hosting at the Chamber of Commerce, downtown New Haven. I got good parking. So, yeah. So anyway, let me give you 11 facts about Hispanic origin groups in the United States, because I think this is important. So in 2022, there were 63.7 million Hispanics living in these United States. The U.S. Hispanic population has diverse origins in Latin America and Spain. So recently, the origins of U.S. Hispanics have begun to shift as patterns of immigration from Latin America change. Notably, the number of Mexican immigrants living in the U.S. has fallen, as the number of immigrants who identify as Dominican, Venezuelan, Guatemalan, Honduran, Salvadoran, or with another Hispanic origin has grown. So here are 11 facts about the U.S. Hispanic population, its origin groups, and how these groups differ from one another. This analysis is based primarily on data from the U.S. Census Bureau's 2021 American Community Survey. So, 1, 8 Hispanic origin groups had at least 1 million people living in the United States in 2021. The 5 largest Hispanic populations in the U.S. by origin group were Mexicans at 37.2 million, Puerto Ricans by 5.8 million, Salvadorans 2.5 million, Dominicans, which I didn't know this. I didn't know. Dominicans 2.4 million, and Cubans 2.4 million. The other 3 origin groups with populations over 1 million were Guatemalans, 1.8 million, Colombians, 1.4 million, and Hondurans, 1.1 million. I did not know this. I did not know this. So that's good. 8 Hispanic origin groups that had at least 1 million people living in the United States in 2021. Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Salvadorans, Dominicans, Cubans, Guatemalans, Colombians, and Hondurans. That is pretty good. That's pretty interesting. I did not know that. Number 2, Venezuelans, Dominicans, and Guatemalans are the fastest growing Hispanic origin groups. Between 2010 and 2021, the Venezuelan population in the United States increased by 169%, from 240,000 to 640,000. And this was by far the greatest rate growth among Hispanic origin groups. Dominicans and Guatemalans had the next fastest group growth rates at 60%. In contrast, Mexicans, the largest Hispanic origin group, had the slowest growth rate at 13%. 13%. So in contrast, Mexicans, the largest Hispanic origin group, had the slowest growth rate. Do you get that? The slowest growth rate. However, the Mexican origin population added a larger number of people than any other origin group, 4.3 million from 2010 to 2021. The next largest increases were Puerto Ricans, 1.1 million, Dominicans, 910,000, Guatemalans, 660,000, and Salvadorians, 660,000. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's amazing what you learn if you just look for the answers. So 3, the share of Hispanics in the U.S. who speak English proficiently has increased. So I'm tired of people saying, oh, this is America speaking English. Well, English is not the language of America. We don't have no national language. We don't. So there you go. So it could be Spanish. It could be anything. Whatever people speak, that's what it could be. So anyway, in 2021, 72% of U.S. Hispanics age 5 and older either spoke only English at home or spoke English very well, up from 65% in 2010. And during that time, both U.S.-born and immigrant Hispanics became more proficient in the language because they got tired of these white people telling them, speak English. This is America. You know, that mess. So the share of U.S.-born Hispanics who were proficient grew from 88% to 91%. And the share among immigrant Hispanics grew from 32% to 38%. In 2021, Spaniards, 95%, Panamanians, 87%, Puerto Ricans, 83%, had the highest shares of English proficiency, and Hondurans with 47%, Guatemalans with 51%, Venezuelans with 56%, and Salvadorans with 56% had the lowest shares. I find this all interesting. So number 4, the next fourth fact is immigrants are a declining share of the U.S. Hispanic population. Do you hear that? Immigrants are a declining share of the U.S. Hispanic population. About 1/3, 32%, of all U.S. Hispanics were immigrants in 2021, down from 37% in 2010. U.S. births to Hispanic parents outpaced the arrival of new immigrants in that span. As a result, the U.S.-born Hispanic population grew by 10.7 million, while the immigrant population grew by 1.1 million. Immigrants comprised a smaller share of nearly all Hispanic origin groups in the United States in 2021 than they had in 2010. The sharpest decline was among Hispanics of Ecuadorian and Nicaraguan origin by 11 percentage points each. Venezuelans were the exception. The immigrant share rose from 69% to 76%. That's pretty cool. So the share of immigrants in nearly all the largest Hispanic origin groups in the U.S. fell between 2010 and 2021. And they give you a chart of Venezuelans, Guatemalans, Peruvians, Hondurans, Nicaraguans, Argentines, Salvadorans, Colombians, Ecuadorians, Chileans, Costa Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Panamanians, Mexicans, and Spaniards. So number 5, the vast majority of U.S. Hispanics, are U.S. citizens. About 81% of Hispanics living in this country in 2021 were U.S. citizens, up from 74% in 2010. U.S. citizens include people born in the U.S. and its territories, including Puerto Rico. People born abroad to American parents and immigrants who have become U.S. citizens through naturalization. Among Hispanic origin groups, virtually all Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. Spaniards, 95%. Panamanians, 90%. Cubans, 82%. And Mexicans, 81%, have some of the highest citizenship rates, while Hondurans and Venezuelans, 51% each, have the lowest rates. Number 6, most Hispanic immigrants have lived in the United States for at least a decade. Nearly 4 in 5 Hispanic immigrants, 78%, have lived in the United States for more than 10 years, up from 64% in 2010. Panamanians, 87%, and Mexicans, 86%. Immigrants are most likely to have lived in the United States for more than 10 years. On the other hand, Venezuelan immigrants, 62%, and Honduran immigrants, 48%, are most likely to have lived in the U.S. for 10 years or less. Number 7, the makeup of the U.S. Hispanic population varies widely across major metropolitan cities. So in the U.S. overall, Mexicans make up the greatest share of U.S. Hispanics at 60%. No other origin group makes up even 10% of U.S. Hispanics, but these shares differ dramatically in specific metropolitan areas. The metro areas in the Midwest, West, and South with the largest Hispanic populations tend to be predominantly Mexican, with notable exceptions, Miami and Orlando. About 3/4 of Hispanics in the Chicago, 78%, and LA, 75%, identify as Mexicans, as do 71% in Houston. So on the other hand, Hispanic populations in the Northeast metro areas tend to be more diverse. For instance, no origin group makes up more than 30% of the New York and Boston metro area Hispanic population. Do you hear that? No origin group makes up more than 30% of the New York, Boston metro area Hispanic populations. So you got a lot of Hispanic people of different origins in New York and Boston. Other metro areas across the country stand out as distinctive Hispanic enclaves. For example, Puerto Ricans make up 43% of Hispanics in Orlando, Florida. Cubans make up 40% of Hispanics in Miami. Salvadorians account for 31% of Hispanics in Washington, D.C. And each of these origin groups is the largest in its respective metro area. That's pretty interesting, I think. Number 8, the U.S. Hispanic population is aging, but remains younger than Americans overall. Ha ha! Did you hear me? The U.S. population is aging, but remains younger than Americans overall. The median age of U.S. Hispanics increased from 26 to 3 years in 2010 to 29.5 years in 2020, yet they remain much younger than the overall population, which has a median age of 37.8 in 2021. So the median age of U.S. born Hispanics was just 21 years compared with 44 among immigrant Hispanics. So among U.S. Hispanics, Cubans, Argentines had the highest median age in 2021 at 40.0 and 38.5 years, respectively. Guatemalans, 26.6, and Hondurans, 26.9, were the youngest origin group. They're going to outlive you, white people. They're going to outlive you, white people. All you crotchety old white people, and they know it. That's why they're doing all they can to, set rules and laws and regulations to curtail the movements of Black and brown people. But I digress. The share of the U.S. So some Hispanic groups are more, some Hispanic groups age more than the overall U.S. Hispanic population. There we go. Number 9, the share of U.S. Hispanic adults with a bachelor's degrees is growing. These Hispanic folks getting educated, y'all. They're getting educated. 1 in 5 Hispanic ages 25 and older had a bachelor's degree or higher in 2021. While this share was less than half the overall U.S. population, 38%, it was up from 13% of Hispanic adults in 2010. Wow. That's pretty cool. So among Hispanic origin groups, Venezuelans and Argentines had the highest shares of people 25 and older with bachelor's degrees or more, and Guatemalans and Salvadorans had the lowest shares. Notably, the share of people with at least a bachelor's degree increased from every Hispanic origin group between 2010 and 2021. Number 10, household incomes vary widely among Hispanic groups. Household incomes vary widely among Hispanic groups. The median household incomes for Hispanics in the U.S. in 2020 was $59,000, below the overall U.S. median of $67,800. Among Hispanic origin groups, Argentines had the highest median household incomes at $80,000, while Hondurans and Dominicans had the lowest median household incomes at $50,000 each. I feel like we're dispelling some myths here. I get that sense. Home ownership rates, and this is the last fact from the Pew Research Center. Home ownership rates are rising among Hispanic households. So Hispanic home ownership rates in the U.S. rose slightly between 2010 and 2021, from 47% to 51%. However, those rates trailed the rate for all U.S. households, which was 65% in both years. The origin groups with the highest home ownership rates in 2021 were Spaniards, the people from Spain, and then the Argentines, the people from Argentina. And they were about twice as likely to own their homes as Dominicans and Hondurans, and the groups with the lowest rates of home ownership. So of the 17 Hispanic origin groups in this analysis, 11 saw their home ownership rates increase by at least 2 percentage points between 2010 and 2021. Panamanians' rates increased by 7.8 percentage points, the largest percentage gain of any group. So if you want to know more about this, Go, they have a detailed fact sheet. Go to the Pew Research Center and look up detailed fact sheet. And this will tell you, this will give you the demographic, the employment, the income characteristics for the 17 largest Hispanic groups. And this was this was published in 2019 and it was updated in 2021. No, in August 2023, I'm sorry, it was updated. So yeah, I mean, it's his Hispanic Heritage Month, and I think this is a good time that we turn our attentions to these kinds of things, because I think we have people out there who are decidedly happy to share misinformation to people, to arouse people's stupidity around race and ethnicity and culture, because people are stupid, and they'll, a lot of people just follow along. They just follow along. And if they're not willing to read or do some research, they'll just assume that, every immigrant that comes over here got their hand out. And so what if they did? We got enough, and we can't say, well, our people over here are hungry and starving. Well, our people over here are hungry and starving because we've not done enough to help them. That's just the God's honest truth. It's not because we lack something and that we're gonna give away everything to these people on the street. That's not it. we just don't want to help them, and we don't want to say we don't want to help them. So we make all these these ridiculous statements and come up with all these ridiculous rationales that are rooted in fear and hate mongering rather than truth. We have enough resources to feed everybody. We have enough resources to house everybody. We just don't want to do it. So I would prefer if we just say that rather than, well, this, that, and the other thing, we have to raise taxes, whatever. Most people don't even know where their taxes go. They have no idea how their taxes are broken down in this country. If you put the tax chart up and said, this is what, all these little, what they consider entitlements, don't even rate on the budget scale. So you're not losing out. Your taxes are not going up on the backs of poor people. That's stupid. And if you think that, you're stupid. And you need to go get some education around what your tax dollars are really paying for. Because your tax dollars are not going to just lollygagging, paying for people. It is not. That's just the most, and they keep telling these stories, and people just like, yeah, well, my taxes going up. I pay taxes. They should pay taxes. Do you know how much money these immigrants send home? Do you know how much money they pay in taxes without the benefit of benefiting from paying for taxes? We walk in ignorance so much. Let's try walking in truth. How about that? That's what I can't have these conversations with people because I get wedded to this. Well, my taxes. You don't even know how your tax dollars are broken down. You have no idea what the biggest tax drain on the American budget. And it is not these little less than 2% entitlement programs. Swear to God. So, anyway. It's Hispanic. So tomorrow I got into that. So I think that sets the groundwork for what we'll talk about all week for the remainder of the month. And then tomorrow I'll find some other facts. But I thought that was useful information. Yeah, I thought that was I thought that was a good intro into getting us in our right minds about Hispanic Heritage Month. So the federal taxes that you pay to the government, right, to invest in the country and to provide goods and services for the benefit of American people. And the three biggest categories of expenditures are major health programs, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, right? And so those are lofty things that we could absolutely take care of people. We just choose not to, So 14% of the budget, 14% of the budget provides assistance to families and individuals in need. 14%. So imagine if it was a little more than that, what we could do. So we have a thing called mandatory spending, right? So mandatory spending includes entitlements, like I was saying, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and Veteran Affairs benefits and services. And they're called entitlements because the government takes money out of your paycheck to fund them. So you're entitled to these benefits once you meet certain conditions, you know. And these things are the things that you hear about always being weaponized in the conversation, in congressional conversations in DC. You know, there's always this race to, to chop that 14% down to nothing, but nothing about the 70, the whole 70 other percent of stuff. Listen, and listen, we know we need a military, but I dare say, I think we nickel and dime them to death too. And we have to be prepared to take care of them on the back end of wars, and while they are in service to us, so let's see. What does government spend the most money on? Well, I already said that. So, national defense. It's a lot of money to, let freedom ring. But we got stuff that we got to pay for transportation, we got to pay for education, housing, social service programs. And I dare say, if we spend more time taking care of some of these social ills, then that would free up a lot of money to do other things, because I think what we do is we spend a lot of time band-aiding stuff, like we'll let stuff bleed out. And then we're like, oh, we better get a band-aid on that, rather than just like, hey, let's eradicate this from the jump. If we do this, if we put this in place, that will take care of that. It'll get rid of this. And then we could go about the business of doing something else. But I don't know why we don't think like that. Well, I know why we don't think like that, because we get into these squabbles about what people deserve, and nobody wants to feel like somebody's getting more than what they should getting, and they're working or not working. It's that mentality of other, all those, them, they are getting something that I'm not getting. And so we legislate in that mindset all the time. We legislate in that mindset. So and it's debilitating, and it keeps us fearful of one another. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just keeps us fearful. And if we could just start to remove those kinds of barriers and get people to think that it's shared destiny, it's shared destiny. You want people who come to this country to have access to healthcare. You don't want them to be sick. You don't want them to go to jobs where you don't see them, but they're working sick. You don't want that. I don't understand why people can't sew this into their brains. All they see is all these people are getting something that I myself am not getting. I don't even know what that means. What are you not getting that you want? What do you seriously want to open up a Wawa in the hood somewhere? That's what you want, but you don't want these other people to do it. I'm just trying to understand what it is that people think these other people are getting that they're not getting. And if we could just think about shared destiny, that's something that is not just for some, but for everyone. If we could just think about shared destiny as a way to, most of the budget goes toward defense, Social Security, and major health programs. That's exactly what I said. look at the small things that we pay for. Education is 3%, you know. Benefits for veterans and federal retired 70%. Defense is 13%. Social Security is 21%. Health insurance. And you know how we could cure health insurance? If we just streamline health insurance. You know, if we just streamlined it and made Medicaid the just the way to go, the one payer system. You know what I mean? That would cut down on all this other foolishness. And then everybody could get online and get on board. And then people won't be going bankrupt trying to pay for medical bills, economic security programs. So, you know, so this is from the Congressional Budget Office. 1% of law enforcement, science and medical research, 1%, national resources and agriculture, 1%, transportation, 2%, all other, 5%. So I think, you know, we certainly could do a better job if we adopt a model of shared destiny as opposed to us them. and stop wanting people to sort of have less based on circumstance. Do you know what I mean? Education is 2% of the budget. We have an education system that's failing. You know, and we squabble over it, and we want to cut that. Science and research. I just feel like some of these priorities are a little bit skewed. I don't think we ought to be messing with Social Security because we made a promise about Social Security. And if anything, we should shore it up and make sure that it is solvent into the future. I think we could do that. You know, but we don't do that. Social Security is 21%. Yeah. Why don't we protect that? Protect it. What's the problem? Health insurance. Streamline that. Fix it. Don't privatize it. Oh my God. Everybody don't do that. We could run it. The government could run it and do it well. I mean, they do it already with Medicaid and Medicare. Just do a better job. Just make it. I think I'm biased because I think in Connecticut, the Husky program is so good. You know, I dare say if you lived in Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, and them states like that, Louisiana, your Medicaid is trash. you might as well get you some witch doctors or whatever the hell. So I'm biased, heavily biased, because Medicaid has been such a good program. And good meaning, I don't mean without its problems and its kinks. I don't mean that. I mean for what it provides. I never had a problem. When I had Medicaid, and I just came off Medicaid. I just got bounced off Medicaid because my income rose like $1. And so I had to get out. And I was bummed. I was like, well, what can I, you know? What can I do to stay on Medicaid? Because it's not because I don't want to pay nothing. It's just it was so streamlined. Now I have Connecticut, and although it's a bit of a bump in how I have to manage things. You know, I have co-pays and all these different things and networks, and that I find that to be problematic because everybody is not in line. And so never once did I feel less than on Medicaid on the Husky program. And I had to have, and this is a good thing. So when the Obamacare passed, and I didn't get shut out because of pre-existing conditions. See, I had great health insurance. When I got divorced, I lost health insurance. And so before the Affordable Care Act, I was just making arrangements with all my doctors to pay cash. And they were very good to me. They allowed me to do it so that I could continue with my doctors. And the Yale Healthcare Center had a program to catch women who didn't have health insurance to get their pap smears and mammographies and all the blood tests that you need. So I had that part covered. And then I made arrangements with my dentist so I could get a cleaning, and I would pay cash and he charged me X amount of dollars, which was really, really nice. And I kept my internist and paid him paid him out of my pocket. And then when the Affordable Care Act passed, all bets were off. Then I was able. Now my children, because they were adopted, the Husky Care insurance came with them, even though their father had amazing health insurance through Metro North. It was required as part of the adoption structure that they had to carry the Medicaid, the Husky program too, which was really nice because circumstances could change and you don't want children to be without health insurance. So nice touch, Connecticut, that they did that. So my children was never, ever, ever a day in their lives when they were our children, when they became our children, without health insurance. They weren't without health insurance when they were in the foster care system because Connecticut provided. So when we adopted them, that became part, they became part of their adoption agreement, that they would always have, which I like because they didn't leave it to parents to try to figure out health insurance. Should one parent or both parents lose jobs or whatever, these children would be covered. And you need kids covered, right, when they're in these formative years. So it worked out very, very well. So when the Obamacare took effect, and I wasn't working, because I had all that other scandal mess going on and whatever, and I didn't have a job. So I was able to come under Husky as their parent, as their provider, as their parental provider. And that was a little thing that they had put in the adoption component too, that should a parent need the benefits of this, they could get it. And I got contacted and they were like, oh, you should get on this. You don't have any health insurance? Oh, this, that, and the other. So I've been on Medicaid Husky for a very long time because no job. I have not had a job in a very long time that provided health benefits. So I came through Husky A, B, C, D. And then this year I was like, they were like, oh, you are $1 over. Swear to God, you can't be in this program. $1. I'm not making this up. $1. And they kick you off. So I was kicked off. So I had to go through the market, which the market was pretty good. Before they kick you off, they say, you're about to get kicked off. Here's some options. And they run you some options based on what they already have on you and your profile and your age and all the determinants, right? So it's like, well, this and this and this and this and this and this. And I was like, okay. I went on the exchange. They had already worked it up, which was really, really nice. So, and I had options. What was I willing to pay out of pocket? Well, I knew I didn't want to pay a whole lot out of pocket. Like I didn't want to get caught up having a monthly bill that I might not be able to afford to keep up. I didn't want to find myself in that predicament. So, but all the options were really, really affordable. And it really, and what made me decide was there was more doctors in the network than out of the network. So I just chose the one that had more of the doctors because I have a whole team of doctors. I have a whole team. And so I didn't want to have to, and with the kind of health that I have, I did not want to have to build a team from scratch. Like get referrals and then have my records sent over, get them up to speed on what is happening. Like I didn't want to go through that. I was like, no, because it'll feel like I'm starting scratch. So the only loss that I have taken is my dentist. And I'm really bummed. I'm so bummed about that I'm almost willing to pay out of pocket to go back to my dentist, because I really like my dentist. Anyway. So I say that to say, we can do so much good in the world if we put our minds to it. I had such a good experience. It's a blessing to not have to be worried about medical bills. Now I have a stack of medical bills only because, if you go someplace, they don't accept, they have to bill you for the copay. It's like, come on. I was like, can I just pay for it right now? Or we're not equipped to take that. So you're going to send me. So now I got like a little stack of copays that I got to run through. It's not a lot, not even $100. Maybe it might be $120 that I could knock off, but I just don't like doing that. Like that seems like something I have to stay on top of. Like one more straw for the camel's back, right? I'm like, can't y'all just be prepared, to accept, my debit card or some cash? Nope, we can't do it. Okay. So my cardiologist, I swipe. They have no problem. They take it. My internist, my general physician who's an internist, they take it. But everybody else, they bill me. They send me the bill. And it's challenging because they'll send you the bill before the insurance kicks in. So you get a bill and you're like, what? And then it says the insurance hasn't kicked in, some language like that. And then you got to sit on it because you don't want to pay some amount because it's not going to be the right amount. So you have to wait. But in the meantime, it looks like you're not paying your damn bill, right? It's that kind of craziness. So it looks like you're not paying your bill. So I remember when I first got it, I was calling. I was like, what? They're like, no, relax. No, the insurance hasn't kicked in. I said, but you're sending me a bill. You're sending me a bill with aggressive language. She's like, no, don't worry. Just, I was like, is this, I don't understand. You're sending me a bill with aggressive language. I'm calling you to find out what is happening. Oh no, it's the insurances are working it out. We do this all the time. I was like, but in the meantime, you're sending me aggressive languaging bills. So it's going to take me a minute to get back used to this kind of mess. So anyway, I say all that to say shared destiny. shared destiny. Shared destiny. Medicaid is only 8%. 8% of the federal budget. Welfare 7%. Medicare 12%. Interest on the debt. All the money that we owe, 15%. Defense. Well, this is old numbers. So the numbers that Harry had up earlier, 20%. Veterans benefits 2%. Natural resources and tech. Education 3%. And then miscellaneous. I don't even know what falls in miscellaneous. I don't even know. So, it's just and there's some new numbers. This is 2021 numbers for fiscal 2022. 27% the military. That's a lot. So, but I'm reading the War Resisters League, and they analyze the federal funds outlays, and they go through the stuff with a fine-tooth comb, because their whole thing is we don't need to be in war. and we're going to do everything we can to show you why we shouldn't be in war, and why we're spending so much money. So we have a $5.3 billion budget, federal funds. This is for fiscal 2024. So military is at 43%, right? So that's a $2.2 billion enterprise. And that's a lot of money, kids. A lot of money. And I think until people sort of wrap their brain around how we spend money in this country, and it's a lot. It takes a lot to sort of sit and try to understand this stuff. I get it because it's a lot. But I'm gonna take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll get into something else. So keep it locked. I love saying that. I steal that from other radio stations. Keep it locked. 103.5 WNHH. I'll be back. I thought we was gonna play some hip hop. Although I like this too.
Staring at distant shores, I've been waiting, wanting more for the whole night, and it ain't right. I've been saying what's on my mind, trying to explain what can't be defined, and for so long it's been so strong.